Welcome to the NCAA March Madness Episode 3. My name is Alex.
My name is Ross.
My name is Zach.
And we are coming to you live from the Mac Arena, home of the Corner 3 Show League. We've got a ball there. It's signed by Roy Williams, so congrats to Roy Williams and the UNC Tar Heels. But let's get right into it here. We're here to talk. We're an Indiana show. We're Indiana guys.
Probably on his face.
Unfortunately, Mr. Zach Lovelace is a Dayton fan, so let's just hear Mr. Lovelace's love letter to Archie Miller. Start off with Dear Archie.
Hold on. Like Jimmy Fallon. Dear Archie. No. Archie. You disappointed me. I thought we were friends. I thought Flyer Faithful were your family. You wanted to stay there forever.
He never wanted to stay there forever.
It didn't work out that way.
Dayton.
He never wanted to stay out there forever.
He left us for IU, which I can understand.
Who's yours?
The Blue Blood. It's one of the, highest paying, biggest campuses, everything.
Most tradition.
History.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you go there? But, it hurts. It hurts.
It's got to hurt, no matter what.
So, Archie Miller to IU. So, Tom Crean is fired, as we talked about, I think, on our first show. No, our second March Madness show. Tom Crean was fired. Pretty surprising to most people. The process only took about a week and a half.
10 days, exactly.
10 days for them to find his replacement. So, Ross, as an IU fan, how do you feel? How do you like the hire?
I'm pleased with the hire.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Dayton fans for stealing a coach like that, but as the Indy Star writer Zach Osterman put, if there's another coach under 40 who has the most potential, who's the biggest talked about name, he doesn't know one. So if you're going to pick a young guy up and coming, to me, Archie Miller was the guy. I personally didn't see Alford as a good fit. I mean, he would have gotten the recruits, but as a coach, I don't see him as a good coach. Yeah. I don't see them getting, obviously, Brad Stevens. Billy Donovan was going to come down. So an up-and-coming guy like an Archie Miller, to me, was your best option. And a name who had been floated out there, I didn't really think it was going to happen, personally. I thought more like Butler or something like that, Chris Holtman. But when it was announced, I was pumped about it. I'm happy.
So Archie Miller, and it's funny because Archie Miller, Sean Miller, the brothers obviously.
Arizona.
And so those two, Steve Alford, the head assistant at UCLA, Ed Schilling, and a bunch of other coaches, Fran Fraschilla, Steve Lavin, who is a former Big East coach, now is on the Fox Sports Network. They kind of all came from the same five-star basketball family. So five-star basketball used to be this major camp that MJ went to, LeBron went to, Kobe went to. All these guys used to go to back in the day. It doesn't really exist anymore as a camp. They kind of have like a rankings website and stuff like that. So all these guys and Cal was a big guy who came through it too. All these guys kind of came up together. So it's kind of funny that you have all these guys competing for the same job. And Sean Miller and Alford had like a little bit of a spat during the Pac-12 tournament this year about a timeout and whatnot. But I think, from what I've read about Archie Miller and from watching his press conference today, that's an awesome fit for him. He is all about basketball. I mean, he didn't smile at all during his press conference. He just wants to talk basketball. He loves it through and through. He was a 5'9" point guard in the ACC at NC State. He's all about basketball. He's able to recruit to Dayton. He was able to have an NCAA tournament teams that went to the Elite Eight. I mean, obviously, his players like him. He's coached well. You have to coach well when you're at a small school because you don't have the best players. But I think for an IU fit, he's like a young, more responsible and respectful Bobby Knight.
Zach, what is your take on him as a coach? I keep hearing things about him being a good defensive-minded coach. I really haven't followed Dayton.
I talked with, I can't think of his name on Twitter now. He's the main guy on Twitter for Indiana, blogging and podcasts. He does a YouTube show as well. I can't apologize for forgetting his name. He was asking me about it. When you get Archie Miller, you're going to get defensive consistency with your teams. One complaint, it's not really a complaint, but one issue people had is 99.9% of the time he's going to play man defense. There's no in-game switch. Like if he knows he's getting killed and he needs to go to a 2-3 or 3-2 defense, it never happens. It's always man defense. Offensively, Dayton was pretty much average, which in college basketball, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
You want to be defensive minded.
Yeah.
It's going to help him being at IU. Obviously, he'll be able to get those recruits. I know one of his issues was He loved it at Dayton, but his issue was he was tired of being like second fiddle.
Ohio State, Xavier, Cincinnati.
Well, it's not
Dayton.
that. Is when you get recruits, it would always come down to Michigan State and Dayton, and what the player would take of Michigan State, bigger name, Israel, or it would come down
he
to
would take the bigger name.
They always go to the bigger name. So he had an issue with that. He had little things. There was issues with he didn't like playing on Friday nights, which I don't understand that.
Really, that's a thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay.
But when you're at a smaller school, this is part of the problem with the Power 5 conferences now, is when you're at a small school like Dayton, who's in a non-football conference.
A-10, right?
A-10. It's hard to get teams to play you.
Yeah, non-conference, because a loss looks really bad on your resume.
Exactly. So you could be 25-6 when you're conference, but you could be a one bid league, and then Big Ten will get 8 teams in.
Yeah,
right.
Because none of those teams want to play, none of those teams before recently, if they got in the Big East, wanted to play Butler. They didn't want to play Gonzaga. They want to play Dayton because there's a chance they'll lose and hurt their resume. Yeah. So I can see why he left, but I mean, he was getting paid like $2.4 million from Dayton.
Oh, that's pretty good.
They were going to offer him $3 to $3.5 million on his extension. He would have been a top 10 paid coach in the nation. Dayton's more than willing to pay its coach. Fan bases, one of the best in the nation. They sell out every game. You go to some of these other schools like Georgetown or these other name schools, and they don't fill the arenas. That's why I have an issue with some of these coaches going to bigger programs, which I don't have an issue with going to Indiana because it's Indiana.
Yeah, it's Indiana.
But if he was to leave for another school like a Clemson, which is a football school or something, what's the point in leaving?
Well, one thing,
That's a good point.
I watched the press conference through and through, and he made a lot of really good points that kind of, cemented the fact that I thought he was the right fit there. He talked about how, his name is, Greg Doyle asked, his name has always been in talks about other schools, but he said he's never actually talked to any other schools. His name's always floated out there. Teams have tried to talk to him, but Sean Miller, his brother, told him you have to wait for that one elite school, and that is Indiana in this case. And
he's been rumored last 2 years to go
with
somewhere,
a lot
and
of places.
He sat still until
he's waited for the right place, which is huge. One thing I think he's going to really, and what he said at his press conference, is going to really help the Hoosiers is the non-conference schedule. Crean was always known to have a really soft schedule, other than maybe one in-season tournament or against Louisville at Bankers Life this year, but. Right off the bat, obviously you can probably expect an Arizona home and home, given that that's his brother.
That'd be cool.
He and Coach Cal are close, obviously.
Bring that back, please.
That question was asked. He said, that's something we're going to look at, obviously. But, Sean Miller, I think he wants to test his team. He's not one to shy away from anything. Archie Miller, I'm sorry. He's a perfect fit, I think. I mean, he's all about basketball. He's all about pushing the Indiana brand. I think he mentioned Quinn Buckner in his opening, in one of his answers to one of the early questions, saying that Indiana looks for their kind of people. What was that?
I scratched my nose. Keep going.
That was weird.
Indiana's
looking for their kind of people, and he matches that hard nose, 100% basketball all the time, all Hoosiers. That's all he wants to talk about, and that's what IU needs.
B-Town Banners put up yesterday. B-Town Banners. They put up an interesting stat that since Archie got to Dayton, take the same time frame at IU for Tom Crean, win-loss record nearly identical, same number of NCAA tournament appearances, nearly the same number of records. Dayton's made an Elite Eight where Indiana hasn't since 2011 is what they're saying. Yeah. So record nearly the same, Dayton versus IU. And no offense to Dayton, but I mean, IU should be a higher
well, you should. You're pulling in better recruits than Dayton was pulling in.
Yeah, they should be.
But also, I mean, IU. I think people are killing Tom Crean right now, and it makes no sense. I mean, the schedule IU plays is one of the toughest in the country, even if their non-conference schedule is terrible, just because the Big Ten is one of the toughest conferences. I mean, a Big Ten outright champ might also have 5 losses or 4 losses in the year.
I just hope Indiana fans give them a chance. The problem with there is some dirt on the Indiana brand, and that's because of past history, but also, Indiana fans might not think this, but not everybody wants to go to Indiana because of how Tom Crean was treated. I mean, you look at the videos of him getting cursed out by fans post-game, all those things. It's like, well, I could go there and be good and have one bad year, and they're going to want my head. So hopefully they give Archie time. Hopefully they give Archie time. Obviously, Dayton fans would love to see him stay, but if he's got this opportunity, hey, take it. Hopefully we can find somebody to replace him that'll keep Dayton moving forward. And get us continually getting the tournament, because we've made it 4 years in a row now. So
I mean, that's why I think Archie is a great fit too, compared to Alford, because Archie is tough-minded.
Tough skin,
he
too, it
cares so much about the game itself, and the other things he care less about. I mean, he wants to push the brand of Indiana basketball, not just Indiana. He wants to bring. I mean, he constantly talked today about cementing the past, taking care of the present, and then securing the future. So I think he's a perfect fit. I think IU fans are going to love him. He's not the sexiest hire in the world, but I mean, he's all basketball. And if you're going to fire Tom Crean, who I think recruited really well, and this stuff about, have to recruit in state, I think it has a point. But at the end of the day, I think that if you're going to fire Tom Crean, this was the best hire. I don't think they could have picked a better coach that was available.
If there was no rumor right after he was fired for an Alford or Donovan, and you would ask the fans during the season of who they wanted to be a replacement coach, most of those fans, either on message boards, Twitter, wherever, would say probably Mack, Miller, and Marshall.
Yeah.
The three choices. But it's just because of those rumors where, we're going to get Donovan or we're going to get Alford, the savior. That's what threw people off. And, if you would ask them, like I said, mid-season, they would have been ecstatic over this hire.
Because Archie last year during the same time, in the past 2 years really, has been the talk of the town when coaching vacancies came up. Even I think when Texas opened up after Barnes left, before Shaka Smart took that job.
What do you think of the 7-year contract he supposedly signed? I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, they fired Crean with 3 years left or 2 years left on his. So
I mean, money isn't a big deal. I mean, to Indiana University as far as contract length, but I think they have to make a commitment. He's a younger guy too,
38.
So yeah, he needs time to.
Morgan needs that money. If you don't know, Morgan Miller is his wife, and she'll probably have a fan page from IU fans pretty soon.
Why?
She's an attractive lady.
Jake,
oh gosh.
So She needs that money.
I think
Jake
that's a
Query
sign
tweeted
to
out
move on.
immediately once she.
No, I'm just
Archie
saying
got hired.
there will be. I mean, Dayton fans had a page and everything, so IU fans, there's more for IU fans. There'll be a page.
All right, so moving on here. So Archie Miller to IU, we'll see how that goes. I expect him to hit the recruiting trail hard already.
He's supposedly checking in on the 2 guys who pulled back their offers or their commitments already, and he's trying to get them to stay. So he's already coaching before he's even official.
We'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the East region first. So this is the region where Villanova and Duke were by far the favorites to come out of this region. All 3 of us picked Duke. Wisconsin obviously upset Nova in the second round. But we have a South Carolina, Florida Elite 8 there. Did you guys watch the game?
Yeah. Do you want to back up and do the Wisconsin-Florida games before that?
Well, that was an amazing game in its own right. Chris Chiozza with the game-running winner floater three-pointer.
The step through to make overtime.
Yeah, Showalter hit the 3 to force overtime. He gave the Rogers discount double check there. But yeah.
Elephants.
Elephants in the house, y'all. Sorry. If you're listening on the podcast, we thought somebody was storming down here with the vengeance.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to go too in-depth in every game. Let's just go through every thoughts because otherwise we could be here for hours. So let's just get your thoughts on South Carolina coming out of that region. I don't think only 0.6% of all brackets had him in the Final Four.
They announced it today, almost 19 million brackets on ESPN. Only 650 something.
75, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, had the
all four right, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
South Carolina's a 7 seed, so it's shocking that anybody even picked them.
So it's like a 0.0003%
First time
chance.
in school history they've made it to the Final Four. That is crazy. So their star, Thornwell, looks pretty good. But to me, P.J. Dozier, he looks really good. I think he's only a sophomore. That's someone to be on the lookout for going forward, maybe 2 or 3 years.
I like Thornwell as far as just he was a man among boys out there.
Yeah.
All of his moves. First of all, I thought watching that game, I thought Florida looked so skinny. I mean, even their bigger guys looked small. Devin Robinson and is it Kaylee Hill or Casey Hill? Their star point guard, McDonald's All-American. All of them just look so frail compared to like the big guy South Carolina had, and Thornwell just looked like he was an NBA player with a bunch of high schoolers.
Yeah, you also have to give credit to Martin. I mean, that guy, ever since he left K-State, I mean, he's built that South Carolina program back up
from nothing.
And you got to appreciate what he did too. He came from nothing. He was a math teacher, was coaching high school ball.
JV.
I think he was pretty good at that, and they fired him, but they wanted to keep him as a math teacher.
Really?
Yeah, and he said, you know what, I'm doing pretty good at this. I want to do it. So he left, and look where he is now. So congrats to him. He's worked his way up, and I think at one point he was a bouncer too. I mean,
well, he looks always angry. I mean, he looks like a Bond villain to me. He's always on that sideline scowling. I could see him as a bouncer.
Yeah,
Congrats
to him. Man.
Yeah. I mean, the Florida coach was also in the rumors for the IU job to a point, because just in 1 year from Louisiana Tech, he's done a heck of a job. Or 2 years, I'm sorry. He's done a heck of a job at Florida. But yeah, I just thought Thornwell, I mean, if South Carolina can beat, who do they play? They play Gonzaga. And in the Final Four, they have a shot, because Thornwell is a man among boys out there. He's just so strong around the rim. He can shoot it too. I mean, he looked like an NBA player out there. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, I mean, he looks like a man among boys. The only issue they're going to have is they shot 2 for 10 from the 3-point line that game. They're not a great outside shooting team, but, tournament, anybody can get hot.
Yeah.
The only issue with that is with Gonzaga. Gonzaga's the number 1 in defense efficiency. South Carolina's number 2 in defense efficiency. So it's not going to be this 90 to 80 some game.
Yeah.
It'll be 45, 55 for all we know. But they're going to have to hit some outside shots against Gonzaga, because
You got too quick for his overages.
Yeah, you got Karnowski on the inside, and then Collins on the inside as well. Plus you got their point guard. He's got 3 names. I can't think of it right now.
Nigel Williams-Goss.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna have to hit shots against them. It's gonna be a really tough game. But
we'll make our picks in a second here. The next region we'll go over is the Midwest, the upper right, for all you people who need a visual there. Kansas beats the brakes off Purdue. Oregon, Michigan, was a great game. Derek Walton had a shot to win it to kind of keep that ride going. He misses that shot. So Oregon, Kansas. Did you guys watch that game?
I did, and Oregon looked amazing in the first half.
Yeah, Oregon. I mean, they're the other Cinderella team here. I mean, even though they're a 3 seed, I think you can't consider them a Cinderella team, because everyone counted them out. They
should have lost 2 games in a row. I mean, Rhode Island and Kansas.
Yeah, their big man gets injured before the tournament. A lot of people picked them to be upset early. Dorsey has been just on an absolute tear for them, and it's funny because Brooks is kind of their main guy, and then Jordan Bell has been just amazing.
I was going to say, Jordan Bell was the difference in that game. He had, 8 blocks himself? Yeah. He was a monster. He's moving up draft boards.
He's had a minimum of 12 rebounds every game in this postseason.
Which is huge for, a team that lost their big man right before the tournament to a torn ACL.
And then what helped, Josh Jackson, I think he had 2 early fouls real fast. That kind of took him out of his rhythm. That helped him out too.
Yeah.
But Dylan Brooks is a guy who can get hot at any time, even though he kind of annoys me with his antics during the game.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't stand him. That's why I would never draft him, just because he annoys the crap out of me.
Yeah, that's a good reason. I was kind of really annoyed at the end of the game, the way he was celebrating and stuff.
Well, here's an interesting point here. We talked about this in our Pacers NBA show. You have Josh Jackson, 18, 19. I think he's 18 still. And then you have Brooks, who I think is a senior.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so here you have 2 players, similar positions. I think Josh Jackson's just a little bit bigger, a little taller. Similar games, Josh Jackson a little bit more athletic. But here you have a 22 turning 23-year-old or an 18 turning 19-year-old. You're going to take Jackson. That's why when people are like, Oregon fans are probably like, well, why wouldn't an NBA team want Brooks? Well, you could have Josh Jackson. You could have 4 more years of Josh Jackson, more talent, might not be as developed, might not be as consistent, but this is, again, why the best players are one and done, because their talent and their youth are their 2 biggest assets. And guys who stay longer and develop might be solid players. You have Malcolm Brogdon, but you're going to take the chance if you're a lottery team on some of these younger guys.
That could be a good segue to our fan question, in a way.
If you want to jump in there real quick, we can do it. The fan question we got was, I'll say it right, Jake Masters. We won't call him Jake Fartsters this week.
Jake Fartsters.
Alex the
Careful, he'll call you again.
That was so good. I left a lot of work I had to.
Check our YouTube. You'll get to see the actual clip.
But we'll be playing this video.
Here, play it for our podcast listeners. We can edit it. We can edit it out for our video
for our podcast
listeners.
Let me make sure my volume is up for you.
We have our first video question.
Yeah, so we're encouraging people to send in video questions. That way you can get your name out there.
Tweet your video question.
Tweet. Yeah. So let's see if this works here.
What's up, Zach, Ross, Alex, Buttcrack, Mac? Question of the week. You have 5 NBA-ready freshmen or 5 average to above average seniors. Who do you want starting in the tourney?
All right. I have one question for Jake Fartsters. Why are you driving around with a flat bill hat on a Monday? Shouldn't you be at work or doing something productive?
I think he was on his way to work.
Yeah. Well, where does he work?
He does
Penn Station.
He does carpentry and plumbing.
Yeah.
Ooh, careful. He's coming after you.
He's coming. He's driving down from Detroit.
No, I'm kidding. Jake Fartsters.
5 freshmen.
We'll probably be best friends.
Or 5 above average seniors.
By the way, Penn Station, delicious. I don't know if they have Penn Station in Indiana.
Go on Tuesdays, you get free cookie.
The club with the honey mustard.
Hey, chicken teriyaki is mine.
All right,
Back to the
on
question.
it.
Squirrel.
Oh, five freshmen.
5 freshmen or 5
freshmen.
experience?
I was going to say, this weekend kind of proved some upperclassmen get it done for you. Oregon is all upperclassmen.
South Carolina.
Beat a bunch of freshmen. South Carolina has a bunch of seniors. They beat some younger guys. I don't know. To me, 5 guys established in your system.
If you have 5 lottery freshmen versus 5 average to above average seniors, the freshmen win.
Kentucky, 5 above average freshmen lost. Kansas, above average freshmen lost. Look, not all 5, but above average, and they lost.
They lost by 1 point, and
they lost.
But no.
They still lost.
You're saying that like in general. I'm always going to take the freshmen here. I mean,
in the tournament, you're going to take the freshmen.
Who won the NCAA tournament last year? Villanova. They had a star freshman point guard. They had 2 sophomores and then 2 seniors.
But that's not 5 freshmen.
That's not 5 freshmen.
When's the last time 5 freshmen or 5 seniors won an NCAA tournament? It doesn't happen.
We have to look it up.
No.
It happens more often.
Actually, the last time that 5 freshmen, or almost 5 freshmen, won the NCAA championship was with Anthony Davis and Marcus Teague in that class.
We're going to take out 5. Give me 2 or 3 solid freshmen, and that still doesn't win games.
Yes,
for
they
you.
did.
Kansas.
They just won the national championship.
This year.
They just won the national championship. So
So
when's the
that's
last time that an old team won the national championship?
That's a different question, though.
It'll happen this year.
And also Duke. Duke just won the national championship with 4 freshmen. With Winslow,
Jones,
with Okafor,
Winslow.
Jones, and Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen was the star of the national championship. Bada boom! When's the last time an old team then? When's the last time a group of seniors?
Research on this question well enough.
They haven't. They haven't.
I don't know,
We haven't had it. We haven't had a Purdue
It's going to
type
happen
team.
this year.
What happened when Purdue? What happened when Purdue had that? What happened when Purdue had Hummel, Juwan Johnson, Etuan Moore? Did they even make it to the Elite Eight? That was the most senior. That's your perfect senior team right there. Is that not your perfect senior team when you have Lewis Jackson and all those guys? That's the most perfect senior team you can think of. You take the talent every time.
I'm going to do the research for next week and break it all down, see how often a majority freshman team wins the title.
Compared to an all-senior team, which doesn't happen.
All seniors not going to happen either. I'm doing at least 3 seniors or at least 3 freshmen. I think would be the best.
But I can give you 2 examples in the past 5 years
There you go.
a 4 out of 5.
What happens if the other 3 years were all seniors, which is what or at least mostly seniors? I'm feeling
I can think of them right off the top of my head. I can't think of 3 teams that had.
Because it's all about the freshmen.
Connecticut beat Kentucky.
What?
Connecticut beat Kentucky in title game. That wasn't freshman.
When was that?
2014.
Oh, yeah. There you go. There's one.
Okay.
Oh, man.
But that wasn't a senior team.
Oh, Alex, I think if I do 10 years of this, it'll be pretty
over
close
Michigan,
to 50-50.
those weren't freshman teams.
Oh, it'll be close to 50.
2012 Kentucky was freshman
is,
team.
You right now would take keep in mind his question.
Am I a fan or am I the organization?
Keep in mind he's an average. He said average to above average seniors. An average to above average senior is Colin Hartman.
Well, okay.
Who are you talking about? Because you're talking
I'm just
about
talking seniors versus freshmen. Is what I'm talking.
You're talking about elite seniors. No. Because if I have an elite senior, I'm going to take the elite senior.
That was my argument
freshman.
the whole time. Seniors versus freshmen.
No. His question was, would you take an elite, an above average, above average to average senior? Of course, if you have an elite senior, you're going to take the elite senior of the elite freshman.
Now he's looking for an out. He's trying to find a way.
No.
It's a debatable question.
His question was what was his question?
He said
he did say above average.
Above average to average seniors versus elite or lottery freshmen. If the question was elite seniors, then you would take elite seniors over elite freshmen.
He did say above average.
Yes,
it's true. Butt crack. Sorry.
NBA ready freshman.
NBA ready freshman.
See, that's not giving the seniors in a fair shake, I feel like, because you're doing NBA guys who are going to go first round.
I answer the questions ahead of me. I don't answer questions that. Of course, if I had a choice of taking an elite senior who had 3 years of NCAA tournament experience over my freshman who just graduated from high school 7 months ago, I'm going to take the senior.
If I'm a fan or if I'm a coach, I will take the senior, regardless if he's above average or average, because
over the NBA freshman.
What happened to the Duke and all those teams this year? So guys will come in and do one and done. You'll get a shot at a title, but it also
Grayson Allen's a junior. Emil Jefferson's a senior.
More guys are going to want to come.
Luke Kennard's a sophomore.
To play with so
they
and so.
They played one freshman major minutes.
Zach, I'm sorry. You can talk now. We're just
no, I'm okay.
No. This is good. This is great. This is what we want to talk about here.
You can go either way. I mean,
Duke just won the national
I think it's
championship
50-50.
with 4 freshmen.
no. I bet if you looked at the research, it's 50-50.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it for next week.
Let
guys.
him look it up. Let him look up the rosters.
But keep in mind, the question was, would you rather have above average seniors or elite NBA freshmen?
Yes. I'm taking the
NBA
question
ready
one for it.
freshman wasn't elite.
NBA ready freshmen.
There's not the research.
There's not good freshmen who are NBA ready. It's your elite freshmen.
But he's basically just saying your average senior.
So you would take 5 average seniors over NBA ready freshmen? 5 average college basketball seniors.
He's not saying average like at freaking Wright State.
I know,
He's not saying average at like Wisconsin.
At IU. Colin Hartman is an average freshman at a Big Ten.
I'm thinking of like comparing like a Wisconsin team versus the Kansas teams.
And look so look at Wisconsin. They had Koenig senior.
This year. Last
Hayes.
year they were in the title game.
Yeah, but they lost.
But they're in the title game. They're right there. I'm gonna do the research.
So I'll take Duke, who had 4 freshmen and 1, and Kentucky, who had 4 freshmen and 1.
And then the next year, Duke loses in the second round.
Okay, but you just referenced Wisconsin, who lost in the second round.
I'm saying a team like that. I mean, it's 50-50 is really what it comes down to.
No, but I'm talking about the question.
Hold on,
senoritas.
Senoritas. He said seniors. You said freshmen. We had it. I'm picking seniors as well.
But we're talking. Okay, but if none of you answered the question.
I just answered. I'd rather have seniors.
You would rather have 5 above average seniors than 5 elite NBA freshmen. Boy.
Because I know those seniors aren't going to make the mental mistakes those freshmen are.
Okay, that's like the biggest cliche in the world, that they're going to make these mental mistakes, like call time out at the end of the game.
They've been in the tournament more than these guys have. They're going to be used to it.
Seasoned and experience are like the biggest cliches in sports, that like a freshman can't handle a situation. Like we just had
Lonzo Ball didn't handle the situation. 7 points.
Are you
see his post game? He was like, "I don't care, I'm going pro."
Kentucky beat them. It's like you're saying that 2 freshmen beat another freshman.
I'm just saying that's an example of a freshman not handling it.
So if someone has a bad game, they can't handle a situation?
We're talking about being eliminated.
Yes.
A situation of getting eliminated is you making mental mistakes. That's what we just said.
Frank Mason, National Player of the Year for Kansas, right? Mm-hmm. He's a senior. What happened?
That wasn't on him.
Okay, so when it's a senior, it's not on him?
Does he not get what we're talking about here?
I feel like you're picking little things because you want to win an argument. I really think it comes. I didn't answer the question. True, I understand what you're fighting me on that one with the whole above average versus average thing. Okay, you just changed the video. If it was his straight up question, yes. But I'm taking the question one step further. Would you want a senior laden roster? Maybe not all seniors versus freshmen. I want to do the research and see.
There's never been a starting 5 all freshmen.
That's not going to happen.
Roster.
Same on the senior side. I don't feel like that's really going to happen either. But I want to see if teams lean more towards seniors versus freshmen to win it all.
You're saying that you would rather have 3 seniors, 3 average to above average seniors and 2 juniors, rather than 3 elite freshmen and 1 junior and 1 sophomore.
Yes, I would rather
and those three freshmen are elite NBA players.
Yes,
like
because
Kentucky.
Those teams are like Kentucky, Kansas, who lost.
You're referencing 1 year.
I'm just because this is the year I'm watching right now.
Oh, you're killing
That's why I'm going to do all the research.
If
and
you
I'm
can
just
look at 1 year, then you could say anything could happen.
True. That's why I'm going to do the research. Next time I'll have it all broken down for you. Okay.
This is ridiculous.
What is more arguing on the podcast? And we got one. It's ridiculous. You're ridiculous. Face is ridiculous.
Thanks, Jake Masters, for
Ross is a dad who's 28 years old.
Well, so we'll move on to the South bracket. Maybe this will clear things up a little bit here. Obviously, North Carolina blew past Butler this weekend, 92-80. Then UCLA went to take on Kentucky. Which, before we get into this is a different subject to debate here. Who would you rather have right now, Lonzo Ball or De'Aaron Fox?
De'Aaron Fox.
I agree. Well, and plus, my main issue with Lonzo Ball is obviously you have the baggage with his dad and everything. But if you watch the post-game interviews, it just made me so ticked off. You saw the difference between De'Aaron Fox, where he's sitting there crying, hugging his teammates. He wanted to win that game. Then you look at Lonzo Ball, and at the end, he's like, well, we played a better team. What are you gonna do? I'm going pro. Like he could care less about his teammates or what happened.
I mean, I don't think that affects how I think about him as an NBA player, but I just think his defense is terrible. I don't think that he can. I think if someone's in his grill, like both of his brothers, I think he's a great player. I think he'll have a pretty good NBA career. But De'Aaron Fox, like elite speed, elite defender,
great length,
can finish around the rim really well. I think he's just a better player than Lonzo Ball. And yes, I want my best player to care a ton, but at the same time, you could say one guy kept his composure, one guy didn't. They could say a more mature 18-year-old.
Yeah, but it also could be his. I have a negative viewpoint on him because of his dad. I mean, that's the issue. Another reason why people don't want to take him. I mean, obviously he's got some great skills. The guy can pass like crazy, find the open man, make it look good. But he also just doesn't look like he's trying out there half the time. He's not trying on defense. We know that. But with De'Aaron Fox, he's 6'5". He's a 7'4" wingspan. He's out there to play defense. He moves his feet well, and he can score. I mean, I would take him any day. Plus, he's showing heart out there. I mean, any day over Lonzo Ball.
Oh, I agree with you on that. But
yeah, I just think the whole I look at that. I saw the De'Aaron Fox interview, and Bam comes over and hugs them, and they're bawling, crying. And yeah, as a fan, you're probably like, oh man, they really wanted it. And he says, when we lost a few this year, people didn't think we cared. Does it look like our locker room that doesn't care? I appreciate all that. It shows, I don't know if it shows me you care. It shows me that you're emotional at that moment. Yes, but at the same time, when you put so much emphasis on that type of stuff, that's when you become blinded to, a player's abilities. Like, I haven't watched enough of Lonzo Ball to really make a decision if he or De'Aaron Fox is better. But if you put so much, and so many people do, put so much emphasis on things like that, that's when you become blinded to a player. Like Jimmer Fredette, for instance. Like, oh man, he's so endearing. His story about how he would play at prisons to make himself tougher. Oh man. He is not an NBA player, and he was selected 7th NBA draft. What?
That's a tangent.
Made me laugh.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, it made me laugh. I'm not saying that's what I'm basing all this off. That was just the nail in the coffin for me on Lonzo Ball.
So that was the biggest point then.
That's the whole season of seeing this play, going through everything his dad's done, and his attitude when he plays. It just finished it off for me for if the Pacers were going to do something, I don't want that guy.
To Zach, skill-wise, they're close enough that just one thing like that, it pushes the one.
I'd rather have Fox over that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would rather have Fox just from what I've watched, but I think that too many people put too much emphasis on reaction, on emotion, on how he looked at a certain way or how he reacted to a question. I think, I've been in a locker room where you've lost in dramatic fashion and people did not expect it at all. And it's funny because some of the people that you expect to be bawling, crying were the people most composed and thinking about their future. And some of the people who you'd expect to be stone cold and no reaction were the people bawling, crying. You can never tell in those situations. I just, I think it's a good moment. It'll be on ESPN. It'll be in One Shining Moment, that whole montage. But I just think you have to be weary of putting too much emphasis on it. Especially when it's happened time and time again. When you have a guy like, Tyler. I think Tyler Hansborough won his senior year of the national championship. But a really emotional player, really talented in a lot of ways.
I didn't want Tyler Hansborough.
God. Anyways, moving on. Who cares?
Ross, who'd you pick? You didn't answer that.
Ooh, De'Aaron Fox. No,
yeah,
I'd take
go.
Fox. For sure.
Move on, Alex.
Hands
Move
down.
on.
Anyways, UNC beat Kentucky in one of the craziest finishes I've seen in a long time. Malik Monk makes a three coming around a double screen, and then Luke May 3 seconds later hits a little pull-up jumper in which Derek Wills just got completely lost.
He made it.
I'm leaving.
But the thing about Monk was he hit one before that 3-2, but the one that he hit to tie the game was the one that was impressive because he hung in the air. He had two guys on him and was able to.
Did you guys see the Kentucky Bar video from earlier today when the fans they hit the shot? They tied the game. I haven't seen that. Down the other court, North Carolina wins the game. Oh
man, that's
Grady put it up. He was laughing hysterically. He couldn't breathe. It was pretty funny. Made me happy. Always makes me feel good. Kentucky lose.
We feel good, Ross. Alex is taken out of it after Ross came in. And
you didn't like that?
Had his little,
that was a good pun, man. He's
still out of it. You can see the video. He looks
Carolina
like
always has a May.
He's almost like the crying Jordan without the tears.
Oh, if I can only.
Surrounded by
smart, intelligent people.
Morons.
Yes, the moron who keeps winning all the predictions and getting everything.
Yes, you're right. The fact that you predict NBA games makes you extremely intelligent.
I think in that category, then maybe he is.
We may differ.
Totally right.
He must be a Lonzo Ball fan because he was really taken back.
I'm not a Lonzo Ball fan. In fact, I don't like his game that much.
I'm just saying the nail in the coffin was Lonzo Ball looking like a little punk. I'm going pro.
That is like the biggest fan comment in the world. Like
that's
saying
not a
kid
fan
looks
comment.
like
That's
punk.
a regular person saying that dude's a
No,
punk.
I guarantee you, a general manager couldn't give two craps about that at all.
A general manager that has to deal with his father, he gives a crap.
You don't have to deal with his father in the NBA.
If you think Lonzo Ball's dad isn't going to be an issue coming up for teams who think about drafting him, then you're not listening to anything.
well, what am I supposed to listen to? Skip Bayless?
No,
Don't
don't
listen
do
to
that.
Skip Bayless,
Don't do
no.
that, please.
No, I mean, like, if you're an NBA GM, you're going to take a kid for his talent. You're going to say he's 18 years old, and the only thing I'd be concerned about with his dad is that I don't want his dad being in, like, if I was the Lakers, I would not want to draft him. He's too close to home. I would want to draft him so far away from his dad. But I don't think that any GM is like, man, I love Lonzo, but the fact that he declared for the draft 10 minutes after he lost.
No, you're right
That's
there.
not what I was saying.
He's just saying.
That's what you said, though.
As a
Like,
fan,
then he
Ross
doesn't
gets
care.
what I'm saying.
he's just saying as a fan, as a person.
Well, as a fan, so
Yeah.
as a fan, I don't like him. But as a GM,
As a GM,
I still have to evaluate how good he
you
is.
evaluate on talent.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
it's
saying.
different. It's different. Okay.
You said that you wouldn't take
All right,
him
all right, all
because
right, all right.
That's
I'm
me.
not.
I'm drafting. I'm not taking him.
If Zach Lovelace was drafting,
I
this
don't
is what
want
he
him
would
on the
do.
Pacers. That's what I'm saying.
Move on to the West bracket.
you guys are killing me here.
Go on it, Ross. Get on it.
Gonzaga survived. First time in school history they make the Final Four. First time I don't even know what conference they are. What's the WCC? Western something.
I thought they were.
They're the West
First
Coast
time they've
Conference.
made a Final Four since the 50s.
West Coast Conference.
West Coast Conference. There you
So
go.
they beat West Virginia. Xavier beats Arizona in an awesome game. Sean Miller, the old coach of Xavier, who he got the job because he took Xavier to the Elite Eight, and then he got the Arizona job. Trayvon Blewett.
Trayvon Blewett is what, a sophomore, junior?
He's a junior. He had one of the best runs of the tournament. Probably averaged 20 just over, or I think he finished with 87 points for the tournament. But he put on a show. He was kind of the talk of the tournament. If they were to beat Gonzaga, he probably would be the most outstanding player right now. But I don't know. Who would you say is the most outstanding player in the tournament right now? Because that's an award they
Most
give.
outstanding player of the tournament.
That's left. Let's see. There's
Bell and Dorsey are probably right up there.
I was looking
I don't think
through.
anyone Gonzaga has really
Thornwell?
separated themselves.
I was gonna say
Thornwell.
Thornwell.
So Thornwell, Dorsey are probably my guys right now. Maybe Jordan Bell if he continues his play. But then Gonzaga, it's just too much for Xavier size-wise. Xavier only goes 7 deep, 8 if they're really desperate. They don't have the big guys, and they just didn't have the motor there. Again, they lost their star point guard for the year with the torn ACL. I don't know. I watch Gonzaga. I think that this is the best team Mark Few has had, but I don't know if they have anyone to really stop the train of Thornwell. I mean, I think he's just been a beast. I think he's a man among boys. I don't know, though. This should be a really good game. We can talk about picks now, too, for the Final
Yeah,
Four.
so that was the Final Four: Gonzaga versus South Carolina, Oregon versus UNC.
So Gonzaga's first time ever.
First time ever.
South Carolina's first time ever. Oregon's first time since 1939.
Yep.
And then UNC's 20th Final Four appearance.
Record. NCAA record.
Yeah. Crazy.
Kind of like I brought up earlier, South Carolina's got to shoot better than 2 for 10 from the three-point line to handle what Gonzaga's going to bring at them. I like what Few has done. I like to see a guy who stayed at a small school, didn't leave for the bigger program, built his program, and got him there. He had the patience. So I'm going to be rooting for Gonzaga. So I'm going to be taking them over South Carolina.
I'm taking South Carolina, man. They look like adults playing out there. I know once they play Gonzaga, Gonzaga has some big
They
players,
look
too.
like a team of seniors.
They do look like a team of seniors. Alex.
Although they start a freshman from Europe.
Yeah, well,
He's
he's like 8
17.
feet tall, so that helps, too.
I didn't know there was an 8-foot tall freshman on South Carolina.
Sarcasm,
That must
Alex.
be a big
Sarcasm.
That must be a big asset. Like if
See how he looks at
if
Zach
IU
right now,
had-
trying to get him on his side.
If IU had a 8-foot freshman this year, they probably would have made the tournament. Anyways,
So
I'm gonna take Gonzaga here. I just think they're deep enough. I think they have the shooters. Matthews, I think, is his name, number 4, who hit the big shot against. Who did he hit the big shot? He hit a big shot against West Virginia to stem the tide and win them the game. So Oregon, UNC. Who do you guys have?
I've got North Carolina.
North Carolina.
They just, I feel like with Roy Williams, and they're always recruiting. They just have too much. I think Oregon's run ins here. It's just I got North Carolina. I had them the whole way.
Oregon was close to losing so many other games before this one, before the Kansas game. Yeah, I don't think they're going to keep that kind of streak.
I'm
up.
actually going to take Oregon here. I think Dorsey is really just on a hot streak. He's been really good. Pritchard is their freshman point guard.
Did nothing the last game.
He was pretty underrated. Jordan Bell's been a beast all tournament long. Brooks, Player of the Year in the Pac-12. I just think they've got like all the pieces and everyone knows their role. And when everyone knows their role in a team like that, you can just keep on winning. I love North Carolina. I think they've got a lot of depth there, but I think Bell is just more athletic than any of North Carolina's bigs. You have Meeks, who's big, but he's big. Like, he's not super athletic. I think Bell can change the game. Unless Pinson really comes through for UNC, I'm going to take Oregon. So I got Oregon and Gonzaga in the national championship. A little Northwest action.
That'll be an interesting game. What if it's North Carolina versus South Carolina for the national championship?
Well, yeah, you have two cool storylines here. So you have the Northwest region, schools really close, and then you have the North Carolina, South Carolina. Potential matchup, but watch none of those happen.
Yeah, I mean, there could be different storylines. You got, if mine comes right, Gonzaga versus UNC. You have a blue blood versus a small school. Like I said earlier, coach stuck around, built the program to what they are now. I'm just rooting for Gonzaga the rest of the way. I'll root for South Carolina as well if they make it, but I'm rooting for Gonzaga. I want the small school to finally get it. Yeah. Besides, obviously Villanova's gotten it, but you know what I mean. A team that's never had that before. So
I'm gonna take Gonzaga as well in the national championship, but that won't happen at all. Other than that, we've got an update on our March Madness challenge here. Number 1 is Drew Donovan with Villanova, so he probably won't win. And right now in second place and looking like the front runner at the moment, Chad Gobert, or Gobert, or Yogurt.
Sorry.
Chad Yogurt, who has UNC picked. That'll be really interesting to see who comes out with the Sun King March Madness Challenge.
Yeah, so we still have to go pick that up for everybody, but it is coming. Tied for second is Maya Russell, soon to be Daigle, one of our great listeners. But she doesn't have any more points coming after this.
Hey,
too.
Maya,
so,
would you take the freshmen or the seniors? Anyways,
I know it's sheet answer.
Hey,
no, it's sheet answer.
You know what? If you were a Kentucky fan or a Duke fan,
no way. Absolutely not.
You would take the freshmen
because that's all they do.
That's
anyway.
what they do right now.
Yeah.
And because they win. But IU hasn't had the same one-and-done freshmen, and they haven't won as much.
Eric Gordon. That's it. Yeah.
That's it. But it's funny because IU hasn't.
I feel like IU fans.
Now you're getting into other arguments though with recruiting and coaching and all that.
I'm just saying that the schools that have been able to recruit one-and-done
players.
Let
me do the research.
Have won more national championships.
If I'm wrong, I will admit I'm wrong. But let me do the research.
But personally, I think just the way I know IU fans are, they would want seniors. That's just how they are. They're not the type of fans who.
If IU had De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk, they'd be like, "Give me more of that."
Well, I'm just saying.
But they haven't. They've had guys who haven't panned out.
I'm just saying how IU fans are. They're like, I want integrity. I want my Hoosiers to be here.
I want a kid from Indiana. Played 4 years here.
We have a lot of Bob Knight fans, and
that's just how IU fans are.
I mean, if you listen to Bob Knight today, you know that.
Cranky old man.
Yeah, he's a cranky old man who wants things to be the old way when there were other types of players on the court. So, anyways, this has been our NCAA March Madness seniors versus freshmen episode, where I win and Ross loses because it doesn't make any sense to have 5 under average.
There are 2 sides to an argument now, Alex.
Ross, where can they find us?
I guess they can find us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. I guess.
I'm glad that in week 29 you've been able to. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to come up with a joke
anyway,
for him right now.
If you're watching this, you're on YouTube, so subscribe and like iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play. Our email is thecorner3show@gmail.com if you want to get in touch with us. Pretty soon to be the Corner 3 Show freshmen are the best @gmail.com.
Let it.
We're working.
Drop.
We're working on the pending email address.
We'll see.
All right. Thanks for watching, people, and listening. See ya.
Peace.
Bye.